Welcome to the Mojo Market Report. Here's your hosts, Dave Sturchio and Chris Gueci.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode and edition and rendition of the Mojo Market Report right here on a feel-good Friday. It is Friday, May the 12th, 2023 with Dave Sturchio alongside Chris Gueci back in the building. Lots to get into, obviously. A lot of cool things happen. As fast as we got excited about the Yankees, they got their asses kicked real quick by Tampa, one of the better teams in the league right now.
Arguably the best team in the league.
They're one of them at the very least. But anyway, won't get into too much baseball today because there's a lot of basketball to dive into. There was games last night. There are games tonight. And obviously the NFL released their schedule yesterday, which, again, I was excited about. He could care less about until it actually came out. And now he could start planning maybe his trip out to Green Bay or a road game. I know you had Vegas possibly.
Week 4.
Vegas could be a possibility. I cannot wait for Dallas to get out to Vegas. Eventually, maybe next year is on the schedule. I don't know. I forget how the divisions lie. But before we get into all that, we do have some NBA postseason play last night, which, again, delivered, at least in the first game, delivered. So yesterday, we kind of didn't rule out the fact that the 76ers would just automatically close this out. We didn't say like, it's definitely gonna happen. Like, we'll see how Boston could perform on the road. They brought it, and now the most pivotal, greatest 2 words in the history of sports, Game 7, has been forced between the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers. Yesterday, 76ers had themselves a decent day. You said early on,
Tatum was like
one
off
for Boston.
14 from the field at a certain point, but he righted the ship when it counted most, I guess.
Yeah.
But 1 for 14, Tatum not showing up. You hear what he said after the game?
I did not.
They said, what gave you the confidence to still take those shots?
Did he say Kobe?
And I wish he would have, because then I would be bashing him even more. But he was like, humbly, I'm just one of the best basketball players in the world. He is, but
he said that?
Yeah.
I mess with that. Like, if you know you're good, you're good.
I just hate Boston, so.
Yeah, of course. I mean, who likes Boston? But who likes Boston anything? But in any event, this is like the worst of 2 cities right now, for me at least. I mean, it's like Philadelphia, it's Boston. It's like 2 of my most hated cities in my sports fanhood.
I actually like Philly a lot. I don't really care for their teams, but Philadelphia is.
I mean, like I said, the coolest thing out of Philadelphia is a fictional character named Rocky Balboa. Is the coolest thing to come out of Philly. After that, I can't tell you.
I think Rocky's corny kind of at this point, played out. Me personally, you know me though.
I mean, you don't like anything, so
no,
it's okay.
I love a lot of things.
I love a lot
Rocky's
of things.
corny. There hasn't been a good Rocky in 25 years.
Because Rocky was stopped being made 25 years ago.
30 years then, because the last couple sucked.
You're out of your mind.
Tommy Gunn.
Oh, Rocky 5 was really.
How long ago did that movie come out?
Tommy Gunn, Rocky 5?
Not even any of the Creed movies are good.
You never seen them.
I saw the one, and I would never see the second one because the first one was so awful.
You just can't do that.
No, I did it. I just did it. It's a shitty movie.
It's not.
Rocky,
it's a really good movie.
Bro, how about
you don't like Michael B. Jordan? I think he's a fantastic actor.
I have nothing to do with what does that have to do with anything? I think he's a great actor.
Because actors make the movie?
Great actor, shitty movie. Doesn't mean that I have to like every movie that he's in.
No, that's not necessarily. I agree there, but it's just like the dude is all world in these movies. Like, it's really a good, feel good. He doesn't like any sports movies, by the way. So that's like 100%. Like
because they're all bad. Most of them are bad. Moneyball, great movie. I like some sports movies, the ones that are good.
Like Draft Day. So, in any event, so back to the city of Philadelphia. They're going to go to Game 7, so that stinks for them that they couldn't close it out. Now you go back to Boston.
Adrian. We get it, bro.
You go back to Boston, where historically, recent history will show you that the Boston Celtics are not the greatest home team in the postseason. So Philadelphia has to know that. They got to smell blood in the water. They let them hang around. They gave this one up, and now you're forced to really, your backs are against the wall. So we'll see what happens over the weekend, because by the time we get back here on Monday, there potentially could be a Game 7. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But then something that you said, if Denver continued to play the way they played the last couple games at the very least, that nobody was going to stop these guys.
Game 5.
At least Game 5. Like, they shut the Suns down yesterday. Now, I know Giannis, when the Bucks got bounced by the Heat, there was a question asked that kind of went viral, like, hey, it's a failed season? And he's like, no fail, right? No fail. That's not how he talks, by the way. But when you look at the Suns, who stacked the team, they have the Bookers of the world. They had Chris Paul, who obviously was hurt. But then you added Kevin Durant, and you expect that's the piece that's going to put you over the top. To get sparked like this in a Game 6 scenario where you have a chance to kind of put this away, not put this away, but at least get back in it. Is this a failed season for the Suns overall?
I mean,
to not get there?
I don't like these types of questions either because, of course it was. If their intention was on winning a title, you ask the players, was it a failed season? I guess it depends on who you are. Giannis doesn't feel that way, but I'm sure Devin Booker, after not talking to the media, he feels that way. Look, you're there to win titles. If you're KD, anytime you're not winning a championship, that's a failed season because you're a legacy maker at this point.
I think he's running out of time.
I mean, KD's done. Washed. He'll have good games here or there, but KD is not putting a team on his back anymore and carrying them to an NBA
that's
title.
the thing. When you add KD
and he's not even,
to this team, you would think that this is the perfect recipe.
Yeah, this is a good spot. And Phoenix will have a good chance next year.
Truth.
But as long as
Chris Paul might not be there next year.
That could be a good thing.
Was it a good thing last night? they didn't get good point guard play.
Well, I mean, let's be real. Chris Paul wasn't making any difference yesterday. The way they played the last 2 games, Chris Paul wouldn't have mattered. You could make the case that
last night they got great point guard play out of Officer Chris Payne. No, Cameron Payne actually dropped 31. He had the best scoring game last night, but overall, I mean, Chris Paul is a significant role player in that team, team's
but just the
makeup.
way will he improve that team? Maybe. Is he going to improve that team enough to close the gap that I'm looking at between Denver and Phoenix right now? I don't think so. I do not think so. He would have to still guard. Like Chris Paul's not going to be able to guard Jamal Murray at this point in his career, let alone with a bum groin. So
probably not.
And let's be real, Chris Paul gets hurt every single postseason. So you could sit there and say, oh, if they had Chris Paul or if they have him next year, he'll get hurt in the postseason again next year. They need to get young at that position.
They do have to get a little younger.
And I like
point.
Chris Paul.
But it's a legacy
just
thing.
Call it what it is. I
wish I would have saw him get a ring. If it's not the Knicks, let it be Paul.
Though KD knows what it is. He can't be the first guy anymore either. I think he's starting to see that, and I mean maybe he's noticed that his whole career.
Maybe, which is why he's been bouncing from place to place.
I mean, I don't really. I'm not trying to talk about KD's confidence in his own game. I'm pretty sure he's fairly confident.
It's a fair conversation to have.
But when you have the Achilles situation, that was a couple of years ago. That was, he's 3 years.
And the Brooklyn Nets traded for him anyway.
Coming off that, they signed him. Right?
Whatever.
Which is even crazier because they had to sign him to a supermax with guarantee that he's not going to play for a season. I didn't understand that because an Achilles, in my estimation, I feel like it's ruined careers throughout my entire life. I know modern medicine is a little bit different, but an Achilles on the wrong side of 30, like the significantly wrong side of 30 at this point, and I know 3 years removed from an injury, you'd be like, okay, he's clearly fully healthy, but
is he?
When you're fully healthy and you're approaching a certain number in age, you're just never going to be fully healthy.
No, I agree. So, unfortunately for the Suns, their season comes to a halt.
KD is washed.
Denver will be waiting the winner of tonight's game. Well, it's not Game 7, but the Warriors and the Lakers are actually the late game tonight. They're waiting for the winner of that. When you look at that game, they're back in L.A. The Lakers have, I don't want to say dominated the series, but they've played very well. When those guys are clicking, I'm talking about LeBron and AD, and I don't know the status of AD, if he's gonna give it a go today. I don't know if there's any jokes to be had right now, but look, when you got in that situation, I think it was Mark Schlereth, who's an NFL guy, right? He goes, if the visual is you're getting wheeled out because of a neurological brain thing, wheeled out of the stadium, right? That's automatically, you got to sit a game. You got to sit a game. Because, of course they're going to say, no, there's no concussion, he's fine. But the visual of him leaving the stadium in a wheelchair.
So because of the visual, bro, Paul Pierce left the first half in a wheelchair and came back in the second half. The visuals don't matter. This is the NBA.
I guess,
right?
but
you see guys get stretchered off in soccer and then come back out.
I tell you right now, if he's a no-go,
he's playing.
The Warriors win this game. The Warriors will win this game without KD. I'm sorry, AD. If AD plays, I think it's over. I think they shut it down in L.A., and I think that's a wrap, and you'll have the Lakers and the Nuggets in the Western Conference
I think it's
Finals.
a fair statement to say if they don't have Anthony Davis that they're probably going to struggle in that game. I wouldn't say that it's a guarantee that they're going to lose, but you could get somebody else to step up. And
sure, but
if Golden State just doesn't bring it, there's a chance of that as well.
Based off the way I've seen this team play when those three guys are on the court at the same time, I'm talking about LeBron, AD, and D'Angelo Russell. It's a much different ballgame.
Chances will be better with AD.
And, of course, tonight, 7:30 tip-off, the New York Knicks travel back down to Miami. Game 6, if they win tonight, the Game 7 will be at the Garden on Monday, which will probably not be able to handle in New York City. The place would be absolutely bonkers, but they got to get there first. To me, the keys tonight, it's not just Jimmy Butler. It's making sure that they don't have these open looks. The Heat have shown how fast, and for a slow-paced team, by the way. They're a slow-paced team once they get down there, but once they get down into their side of the court and they're trying to score, their ball movement is incredibly fast. There's always somebody open. It's kind of ridiculous how fast it all happens, especially now, like, and this might make me sound older or at least old school fan. Like, remember when zone wasn't even allowed? You know, it's like, how do you find an open man when you're playing zone? But then there's a lot of double teams and there's always somebody open.
Well, when you're playing zone, that's just keep passing until there is an open man.
But how? How would that be a possibility? If there's no double teams, it's not possible. It's just not.
Like, that's literally how you beat the zone. It was just pass around the top of the key until you get an open three. That's just watch Syracuse. Like, how that's how you would, yeah. Because you have to play two guys at certain points. So just the ball movement eventually.
That's what I'm saying. So the ball movement it's just been really, really good. So what you need to see out of the Knicks tonight is you need to, I don't want to say you got to put it on Randall because obviously he's not played this. He hasn't played good in the playoffs. He just hasn't. He scored points. We get that. But with the ball in his hands, he's just a very aggravating player to watch. You need a Julius Randle game. He's dropped a Julius Randle game against the Miami Heat. Those exist. I think that it can happen tonight. You have to give him some wide open looks. Because if you're making this guy do a spin move in which when you spin and you wind up in the middle under the basket with nobody to go to.
He's like cutting and slashing, so it's hard to get him open looks. A lot of his shit is in isolation, and he just backs down. I mean, you watch it.
He's a big body guy, yeah. I mean, like,
you watch it. I don't know why they're putting Randall in isolation, but it's the modern NBA. That's what happens.
Yeah. I look at this game.
But look, he's scoring 30, 25
Correct.
points a
He's
game,
scoring
so
points, right? He's scoring points. But some of
the
it's called for me, it's the opportunity. It's the opportune times to take these shots. Like, if there's somebody in your face, let's dish it. You know, like, we'll see if they get quickly back to line off the bench. Josh Hart's got to play better. They got to stay out of foul trouble. And there was a big thing over the course of the last couple games where guys were getting fouls very early, and all of a sudden the rotation gets skewed with when that happens. You know, you got to bench these guys. You got to take them out. You got to take that. And obviously the Mitchell Robinson thing, he's answered the call yesterday or 2 days ago with the Hack-a-Mitch thing. They're going to do it again. They don't rely on – they're not going to be able to – the Heat have no confidence in Mitch Robinson that he could do that 2 games in a row. So you got to get there early. You got to put your reps in from the free throw line, right? You put a little arc under that ball.
6, baby.
This guy thinks Miami.
6.
So, honestly, though, what are the ways that the Knicks could win this game? What's the key thing that the Knicks have to do to win this game? Because obviously Jimmy Butler has the capability
Jimmy
to
Butler
absolutely
has to probably
smash.
Get hurt early and play injured the entire time.
Well, that's not that.
That's the only shot.
That's not the only shot because Jimmy Butler played the entire game last game.
You're asking me.
But I'm saying, like, you just watched the Knicks beat him with Jimmy Butler in the game the entire way.
Okay, I know.
So now he needs to get hurt for the Knicks to win?
Jimmy Butler do work against this same Knicks team this series. So I expect what I've seen more of to happen again at home. I think the Heat easily win this game.
Easily. Okay.
I do.
All right. I'm not saying I'm just hearing you out. I'm just listening to you, and we'll go from there. But anyway, that gets down and goes down tonight at 7:30. So now it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for the NFL schedule release. It happened yesterday. A lot of cool matchups. Well, we already knew the opponents. We just didn't know when, right? Like, we didn't know exactly when specific teams were going to go. Clearly, as a Cowboys guy, and now the New York market is watching this show, I don't like opening up against the Giants. I never did. I rooted against it every year. Give me, like, the Browns, or give me give me something, not that they're on the schedule, but give me a winnable game to start your season right. And I'm not saying the Giants aren't a winnable game. They can absolutely go
That's what I heard there, but I mean, whatever. However you guys want to take what he just said, that's on you. But it sounded to me like he doesn't want to play the Giants because he's afraid of them.
You think the Giants are going to be bad?
I think the Giants are. I don't think the Giants are going to be bad. I just don't think the Giants. Everybody always expects when a team has an improvement over 1 year to the next that it's guaranteed that they're on the upward trajectory. The Giants team, as I'm looking at them, I think they overachieved last year, and they didn't do much this offseason besides lock down a quarterback that I think overachieved last year. Right? I'm not saying I think Daniel Jones isn't a good player. He does not waver. I think he's a good fit for what the Giants have going on right now. But I have to see the Saquon things get sorted out first. I don't think he's not going to play, but I don't think he's going to be very happy about it. And what are they throwing to still? Did the Giants really
They drafted a receiver.
But to me, you could get success at receiver out of the gate in the NFL nowadays. You can. But there's always a gamble there. And even if they're going to be good players, there's no guarantee that they're going to be good players right away. It's not like these are blue chippers. There was 5 or 6 receivers drafted above Jalen Hyatt, if not more, right?
Fair.
In a class that wasn't exactly deep.
But do you feel like Hyatt might have slipped?
I do. I mean, like, you don't know. I think Jalen Hyatt has all the potential in the world. Maybe not as much as certain guys that were drafted, but in the right fit, yeah, he's takes the top off. He's what the Giants needed to draft in that spot. But how fast is he going to come in and be able to, make an impact?
Hopefully never.
That's going to make an impact. I think he's going to be a good player.
Listen, this game goes down, the Cowboys and Giants Sunday Night Football.
Suck. No.
On my birthday.
Dayball's a really good coach. But
it's on my birthday, so you know damn well I'll be in the seats rooting for my Cowboys there. Your beloved Packers. Little history, traditional type game, a rivalry almost renewed because of the fact that it's a completely new regime over there with the leadership. Are you happy that Jordan Love gets to open up on the road in Chicago? First test, division rival. Let's get it done.
Yeah,
are you cool with that?
See, like me, on the other hand, I'm completely welcoming any divisional games on the road at that because that means in the back end, hopefully things line up where we get all the home games. Yeah, I'm all for it. Justin Fields sucks. There is words coming out of Chicago that there is divide.
Don't say it.
There is divide amongst upper management in Chicago that Justin Fields is not the guy in Chicago. As much as everyone loves Justin Fields, and he's ranked in the top 5 in fantasy this year, and rightfully so, but he's only going to complete 14 passes a game if you're lucky. If you're lucky.
Oh, man. Anyway, I had all intent on going out to Dallas.
I meant attempt 14 passes a game.
I mean, it's interesting. But in any event, there's a lot of interesting games. Here is some top primetime games. I hope they all jump out the charts. Here's 9 of them, top 9 primetime games. Looks like week 13, the Cincinnati Bengals at the Jacksonville Jaguars, so that's a good one. Primetime, that's ESPN. That's a Monday Night Football vehicle. The Cowboys host the Lions. Are you surprised? Like, I understand this is a computer-generated thing, and based off of what I saw last night, they do pop out like a million schedules, right? And they have to choose one. Like, they just have to choose a schedule that works for everybody, pisses a lot of people off, but also makes people happy at the same time. Are you surprised that the Lions got the opener against the Chiefs?
No. I think the Lions have this element of interest about them. I don't care what everybody else says about, they're not prime time. Who is? Like, do we really want to see the same teams over and over again? I'm excited about it. The Lions have a good young offense, and they deserve a stage. The Lions did work last year. I think they're going to get their asses beat in week 1, but what's the difference? Who do you want to see? Do you want to see the same team? You want to see like the Bills and I'm good. I do
like the spice up. I like the idea of bringing a new flavor into the mix. The primetime games to start the season.
You know who should be pissed off? The Lions.
Why?
Because they got to play the Chiefs.
I mean, they knew they had to play the Chiefs.
Week 1.
Week 1, yeah, it may not be the greatest start in the world. Let's see. We got Lamar Jackson traveling to San Francisco on Christmas night. So that's going to be an interesting one. The Dallas Cowboys, who, by the way, 6 primetime games. And they're not the only ones. 6 primetime games for them, 6 primetime games for the Bills. I was very surprised, a little surprised, that the Packers, a la no more Aaron Rodgers, are also getting 5 primetime games this year. I mean, that's the Jordan Love effect.
There is a lot of us. I wouldn't even say it's the Jordan Love effect. It's the Packer fan effect. There's a ton. I know that you Cowboys fans have this like America's team thing, but it's irrelevant.
I mean, it's not irrelevant because it's in the numbers. It's not a like,
know,
we're America's team. Pump our chest out. Look at the top 5 games last year rated,
exactly
highest rated games. The 4 of the 5 of them are the Cowboys. And it doesn't even matter who they're playing. So that's how you know it's America's team. They draw the numbers. That's why
what do you mean,
these networks, they beg and they crave and they salivate.
Are the Lakers America's basketball team? There is none. It's just a made-up term. That's my point.
No. Who's the most popular team in the NBA as a fan base? Probably the Lakers.
Definitely the Lakers.
But not in LA. You know what I'm saying? They got Lakers fans everywhere because of where you were born or who you grew up watching. If you grew up watching Magic, that's why there's Boston Celtics fans everywhere.
I'm saying that it is definitely a thing that Cowboys fans puff their chest about. Because you said yesterday, you were like, how do you know you're America's team without saying you're America's team?
And you know what? My boy Keith Ernst posted that today, as a matter of fact.
Nerd.
Another nerd of mine, that they said, listen, we haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years, but yet 6 primetime games. Why? Why? Because there's Cowboys fans literally in every state of the United States.
I think it's also because...
That's called America's team.
Because they're like the most hated team in the country, maybe.
Sure.
But it's also because...
Pro wrestling. A lot of people like to tune in and see the heels get beat.
Yeah, I mean, just in general.
Like,
do you think Conor McGregor is making all this money because he's the most popular or because people fucking hate him?
Yeah. No, I agree. And did you see the trailer for his new documentary?
I'm so cringe at this point.
Man, you don't like anything.
Bro,
nothing gives you joy. Nothing gives you hype.
You're telling me I'm a Conor fan. He's cringe at this point. I'm serious. What's going on? He looks like he's not even a human being.
Dallas goes to San Francisco, another primetime game, Sunday, October 8th. I had all intention to go in that game, but I can't now. My buddy's getting married, so I can't do that one. That's unfortunate. For both. I mean, he's getting married, so that's the end of it. The Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Eagles on a Monday night. That's another banger. The interesting one here, Sunday Night Football, October 1st, the Jets, Aaron Rodgers hosting Patrick Mahomes. That's going to be very, very fun. Speaking of the Jets, they also get the opening night primetime slot where they're going to be taking on the Bills. Oddly enough, the Cowboys have to play the Giants and the Jets back-to-back weeks. One game's in MetLife, one game's in Dallas. And the number one primetime game is what I just said. September 11th, all eyes on the Jets and the Bills. Aaron Rodgers' first game. Aaron Rodgers also gets the Black Friday game. Aaron Rodgers gets a bunch of primetime games. And look, that's the Aaron Rodgers effect.
Oh, the
Jets
wheels are going
relevant.
to come off on national TV for the Jets this year. That is so funny.
I mean,
honestly.
I find you very difficult to read. Like, if you go out into our studio right now, Aaron Rodgers' stuff has been taken off the walls. Like, that's like me saying, like, Romo retired. I gotta get rid of his shit.
First of all, the Aaron Rodgers, there's plenty of Aaron Rodgers things still on the walls. There's all the figures are still around. I will defend Aaron Rodgers on my all-time rank list perch my entire life.
Is he your favorite Packer of all time?
No, he never was.
Really?
Never even was this year.
Is it, oh, wait, hold on. Don't tell me. It's Donald Driver.
I got 3 to 5 that Donald Driver's one.
All right. I'm going to
There's 2 more that are definite in the mix. Jordy's 2.
Were you a Clay Matthews guy?
Of course, but not that.
No,
much.
not that Clay Matthews guy.
Still
AJ Hawk? No. All right. Give me years. Give me early, like 90s?
Very recent, but not. He's retired.
Jair? No.
No.
Oh, retired? Retired Packer. Blake Martinez? No.
Should be very easy. Defense.
Oh, Charles Woodson.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah, I mess with Charles Woodson. I like him. Tuck rule. But anyway.
Who's the greatest Packer of all time? Not even close, Aaron Rodgers. Not even close.
I mean, he would tell you that, too.
He should. He would be lying if he said anything else.
He would. But anyway, the schedule's out. Be sure to go check it all out. If you want to follow along. What did you just say?
It sure is.
Swear to God, he doesn't let me do anything. Anyway, follow us all over. Follow us on the social medias.
Schedule's out.
TikTok, Scoop. Instagram, Twitter, at Mojo, M-O-J-O. Join the Discord, why don't you? Do that. Do yourself a favor. Join that Discord, man. Have a conversation with your boys over at Mojo. But anyway, it's going to be a great weekend.
My least favorite day of the year is schedule release day.
I know.
Because we have to do
Chris,
things like this.
You don't understand. You would have a very... Because people are much like you, I guess. There is a certain niche narrowed down group of people that just don't like anything, that would be a great podcast. Just you for 45 minutes telling everybody what you don't like every day, forever.
I'm you. That already happened. That podcast exists.
I mean, it's not, I mean, yeah, he's still going, but
that's what it is. It's like, come on, man. Like, I see what's happening here. I'm not gonna. The NFL release. We're talking about games that are happening in October. I don't even know. You know, it's like nobody's gonna care about the Jets when they're 3-4.
Man, oh man, he's just.
Look, the reason why I'm hating on the Jets right now.
Oh, do tell.
Is because I want that draft pick higher, bro. I want Aaron Rodgers to play, and I want the wheels to come off on national TV. I would love to see them get to all these tough games. I'm loving it, bro. You put them up. The Jets haven't won a thing. They haven't made the playoffs in how long? And all of a sudden, they have a coach that has failed, honestly, at every stop so far.
What do you mean every stop so far? It's his first gig.
The one that he's at, season after season. The GM drafted Zach Wilson. Right?
That's a mulligan. He gets a mulligan for that. I mean, everybody has one.
Like, here's what I'm saying, is that there is nothing guaranteed. The NFL is very, very tough. Aaron Rodgers is going into this season, and the Jets fans are going into this season with expectations that are really high. And I could very easily see, like, Aaron Rodgers could go 8-9 again. You know, the same guy that did last year. There's not a guarantee. You know, there's no playoff guarantee for the Jets this year.
To me, I think he has a better squad this year than he did last year.
Fair, but guess
on paper,
what? Guess
they
what?
has to execute.
Guess
obviously.
what? Guess what?
What?
They don't have to play the Bills twice last year. They didn't have to play the Dolphins twice last year, right? They didn't have to play.
No, listen,
they didn't have to go through the AFC.
They sparked the Packers
point blank. Last year, the Packers division, fair, but Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback of that team, and so was Zach Wilson. That was Zach Wilson's last win. So don't even start.
I'm just saying.
You know. I'm not here to talk about the Packers. I'm here to talk shit about the Jets. So
that's why we're here, folks. So anyway, enjoy the weekend. Go Knicks. Get this done. Let's get to a Game 7. You just never know. If that gets to a Game 7, it is going to be bonkers town at MSG on Monday night. I'm really, really hoping for it. And obviously the Knicks fans, we deserve this. It's been a long time since we were able to root for anything of significance when it comes to the New York Knicks. So for Dave Sturchio, Chris Gueci, this has been another episode of the Mojo Market Report. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. Happy birthday to my baby bro Danny tomorrow. It's a whole celebratory weekend. Celebrate all them moms out there. Enjoy them, pamper them, make them some breakfast, do all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys back here on Monday.